Alright, y'all, so I'm just going to continue where I was. And the last time we spoke, I was telling y'all about how Timmy felt like he had to protect me at all costs, right? So he had told me one time that, he was willing to put his life on the line for me, that he would die for me. And he was really serious when he said that, and it was just so flattering, to have someone that loved me that much that they were willing to die for me. He felt that, that was his, he had to do that as my man, to actually, put his life on the line. I just, you have to understand the mentality of a real man to understand that thought process. But Timmy is also an Aries, and they have that type A personality where they don't have that fear, that everyone else has. It's like he lives, for that element of danger that everyone else fears. So, it's something that, when you understand him, it's easy to understand why he think that way. But I'm just going to continue, reading. And every time he made his commissary purchases, he bought the things that I said I loved and put them in paper bags and had officers, an officer bring it to me if he couldn't do it himself. And he was really close with the dietary sergeant. They had grown up together before he was incarcerated. So he would allow him to fix me elaborate dinners. And so it didn't look suspicious. He would, fix the dinners for everybody on my team. So they benefited because Timothy wanted me to have a good meal, So they ended up having a good meal at the end of the day. So we used to have our water fights, of course my whole team was involved, but it would just be me and Timmy going at it, fighting, having our water fights and everything. And then we would have our special talks when he used to hang on my my post all day long. We would just get into these really in-depth talks about, how he feel about certain things and how close he was with his family. This is all about family. And he would talk to me about his situation, how he ended up where he was, and being wrongfully accused. And that's what drew me in. I started really, really becoming close to him. At that point, we became really good friends, like best friends. I could talk to him about anything, as soon as I felt like things started, people started noticing how we were looking at each other and how we was smiling and all that kind of stuff. I gave him my home phone number so he could call me, thinking that would keep him from hanging around my post so much. But of course it didn't. And he was allowed to call because my then husband, he was going through his own thing, and he was an addict, so he found himself doing bits here and there. It was nothing that was like lengthy, but any significant amount of time. But at the time he was living in a halfway house, and he would just come home on the weekends. So all week it was just me and Timmy. And and so when he would come home on the weekends, it was just so funny because I felt like I was cheating on Timmy with my own husband, because that's the way our relationship had advanced. And where was I at? All right, so I'm going to read this part. You know how it is, like when you get close to someone, and then that sexual tension becomes between y'all. So this is where we were at this point. We had built the friendship and all of that. Became infatuated with each other. But now it's like, okay, here comes the sexual tension. All right, so my attraction towards Timothy was indescribable, and he couldn't even sit a certain way without my coochie instantly becoming wet. I'm just reading what's in the book. once I was walking to my next post, and as I climbed the hill, I noticed him sitting on a railing with one of his legs propped up, and the way he looked at me as I walked towards him caused me to melt like wet sugar. I remember that day too. Oh my God, I was just looking at him like, damn. He was so sexy. Oh my goodness. Later that week, I was assigned to the gym detail where his basketball team was having a tournament, and I'm standing, I'm looking through the glass or whatever, and he playing, but then once he noticed me, it was like he had to be a little extra with his stuff, right? So, when he get his water bottle, he start pouring it all over him, and it's, glistening all over his body, it's chocolate all wet and everything, and, when he would lean down to tie his tennis shoes, he flexing his muscles and all that stuff, knowing damn well he ain't need all them muscles to tie no damn shoestring. But this is the kind of stuff he used to do, like, just to turn me on or whatever. And before, he would come to my post and he would stand there and he would pull his penis out and start masturbating or whatever, and I just never understood it. But I guess men that are incarcerated, they just have this incredible imagination, because I wouldn't be able to do that, just stand and look at somebody and but he could do it, and I used to get so turned on by that. Oh my God. So let me see. So I'm gonna read this. All right, looking back now, I realized that I was drawn to Timothy because he made me feel the way I always wanted my ex-husband to make me feel: protected, beautiful, and free. I think I also became captivated by the drama and deception, and the fact that Trey was a bad boy didn't hurt matters either. All right, so I'm just gonna I trusted him because of, how he made me feel. He made me feel like a queen, and he used to call me his precious queen or whatever. And I don't know, I didn't know how to explain it, but our relationship was like 10 times more intense than, the average relationship. And I always wondered if I had met him while we were uptown, if it had been that way. And I really don't think so. I think it was just the atmosphere. And this was the first time that he was in love, because when he was home, it was just all about, the streets and getting that money, that he really didn't invest any time in, building relationships with women. So now he was, madly in love, and it was just really, really powerful. So Valentine's Day, he came to my post and he knocked on the glass and he was like, I have something I want to show you. So he came in and I was all excited. He was excited. He was like, cover your eyes, baby. And I was like, what is it? What is it? And I closed my eyes and he was like, you can look. And so when I opened my eyes, he had this huge tattoo on his chest, like right over his heart. It was like this big heart, but it was not just a heart, it was just really elaborate, and I could tell he paid a lot of money to have this done. It had my first and middle name, and I just looked at it and I was just so moved because my husband at the time, we had been together like 5 years at this time, and he had always promised to get a tattoo of my name on him, and he had never done it up to that point. But Timmy, he didn't hesitate. I mean, he did when he surprised me with this, and and said that I put you over my heart because this is where you're going to be until the day I leave this earth. And it was just such a romantic and special moment between us, and this is the moment that I really truly fell in love with him. But I look back and that is the moment that I actually fell in love. So once the classroom had cleared, I walked Timothy to an area that had no camera so I could kiss him and show my appreciation for what he had done. We were right in the middle of kissing passionately when I felt his hardness against my thigh. What's that? I asked, mischievously grabbing it. You know what it is, he said, moving it back and forth. I grabbed it through his overalls, and the size of it pleased me very much. I just had to stroke it because it felt so good in my hand. I couldn't imagine him having a little dick or even an average one when everything else was so perfect about him. Let's just say I was happy as hell after learning I was right. It appeared as if Timothy loved me deeply and loved me more, and I knew I'd be forced to make a choice at some point between him and my husband at the time. All right, let me see. All right, so after all of this sexual tension between us and stuff, I used to crave him. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to crave him physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything. I just wanted us to eventually consummate our relationship. I was just so turned on by him all the time. Just looking at him, I would just get turned on. So I had decided that I was gonna create an atmosphere where we could do it. And so at the time we used to wear our Class A uniforms, which was the the long sleeve shirt with the tie and the dress pants. So I started wearing my jumpsuit, and I cut a hole like in the middle so that he can have easy access whenever we decided to do it. So it was like, on my post, there was this closet that was like real secluded all the way in the back. And one time he had came from the school with all of the equipment to put back there. And so I was like, well, this is the perfect opportunity. And so when I took his hand and I walked him all the way to the back, and it was like I pushed him up against the wall. It was like, I want you so bad, and he was like, you mean right here, right now? He was all nervous and everything. I guess I just caught him off guard, and he probably was, on edge because he didn't want us to get caught on anything. So, I was like, I was ready. I was like, just show me what this big motherfucker can do, So I get all on the chair, and I'm all bent over and everything. I had told him what I had did with the jumpsuit, so he knew what he had to do, But, he came over there, and he was hard and everything, but it's like, I guess by him being so nervous and how men are, when they stressed out or under pressure or anything like that, he just couldn't, perform. And it was like he was devastated because, his pride got in the way. And so after that, I kissed him and I made him, feel like everything was okay. It wasn't no big deal or whatever, which it really wasn't, But, so being the man that he is, he created the next, the next time we would be together. And so that time I was nervous as hell because he had chosen the office's dining room, the bathroom in the office's dining room. And although there wasn't a lot of traffic there, people still came in sporadically. So, we were in the bathroom and, and he just blew my mind. So we in there, professing our love for each other and things like that. When it's this boom, boom, boom on the door, I'm like, oh my Lord Jesus, and I'm scared to death. And so he was like, baby, I got you, and so we waited a minute, and and we knew the officer was still in there because we heard him say something to somebody in the back kitchen. So Timmy was like, I got you. I'm going to go out here and fix this situation. So I heard them out there talk and they laughing or whatever. So I was like, all right, this is my moment, to ease out the bathroom. And so soon as I open the door and get ready to come out, here come these officers in through the front door. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I had to get to my post. Like, what the hell am I going to do? So, of course, Timmy did, what he had to do to save the day. But then, after that, we had found that we wasn't going to do anything that risky anymore. We could only do something if I was totally in charge of the area. I would know where, the cameras, how to look at the cameras to see where people are. And I had total control of the doors and everything like that. So, we ended up, doing it a few more times or whatever. But then, we sort of chilled out, from it. And, because, things just became too hot. I remember one time, my two girlfriends from my compound team had came into my area, and, we were like in the closet kissing or whatever. And, so they had the master control open the door. I guess they knew, something was going on. They had the master control hit the door where, that's my area. I was supposed to hit the door, but I guess they was trying to, give us, sneak up on us or something. So, I'm in the closet and, we in there kissing or whatever. And so when I heard them, Timmy jump back and, and I'm still in the closet. So I started, asking him about something that's in the closet. Like, what you was saying that we had to do with this, trying to play it off or whatever. But they knew what was up. So after that, it was like, I just was, really nervous to do it anywhere else. And there was this one time that I was in the gym, and I saw him, through the camera standing outside by the intercom. So I hit the intercom and I was like, come here, and so I hit the door and he came in or whatever, and he's just walking down the hallway and I'm looking at him and he's just so sexy. And so I was like, come here. He was like, what's up, baby? And I was like, come closer, so, I got my lotion out and all this stuff and playing with his thing and stuff. It was just crazy, but yeah, he left out with a smile on his face, smelling like Pearberry lotion. But yeah, it was just, we just had some great moments, and it was like, those were the moments that, I think about now that, we're not together, because we were together every day for the longest time, and, I was just sharing this kind of stuff because people wonder, like, how do you get into a relationship in prison? How do you fall in love with an inmate? And to be honest, you have guys that are in prison that could have been professional models. So for you to even think that a woman wouldn't be attracted to them is just nonsense. We're human, we're not robots. And these guys, they fine. They gorgeous. They work out every day. And then vice versa. You have women coming in and you have men that then did 30 years, 10 years, 5 years. They're going to be attracted to these women, and then it's just natural for real. And, that it would happen. And it happened to me, fortunately and unfortunately, and I don't regret any of it, I did, had some regrets back in the day because, that was a career that I had chosen after everything I had went through in my life. And I was finally at, a place that, I felt that I had made it, and then for this to happen, it hurt me. But then, you pay for choices that you make. So, it is what it is. At this point, it's nothing I could do about it. But I'm sure Timmy gonna make it up to me. He already said he's gonna make it up. He's gonna make it up to me, and I believe him. So I just wanted to share that little bit. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all some juicy tidbits. So that's what I wanted to give y'all today. So feel free to purchase my book so that you can read, the whole story from beginning, middle, and and after I actually left, the jail, to see what happened between, me and Timmy. And, and this story is not just about, me and him. It's my whole life story. So you can start at the beginning, see what it is that made me tick, nowadays, where I came from, and why I'm the type of person that I am today, So it's a good read. The people that have read it, they really enjoyed it. So, the Kindle is $4.99, if you want to get it quickly. So, yeah. So, until I talk to y'all again, have a great night here. All right.